while ago, I made a video talking about all the eyeshadow palettes that I'm so glad I didn't buy and I didn't waste my money on. And it kind of got me thinking about the other categories of makeup that maybe I'm very, very glad I did not buy. So all of these things I was looking at buying, I wanted to buy once upon a time, and now I am so glad I have not bought them for one reason or another. Maybe it's my makeup preferences, maybe the brand has gone downhill, whatever reason, I'm going to be jumping into it today. I have 10 products on this list to talk about, and I would love to know all your thoughts on these as well. Have you bought any of these products? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I always encourage discussion down in the comments. It helps me out as well. It boosts me in the algorithm, so it's a win-win. But just before I do jump into this video, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I upload every single day on my YouTube channel. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup, as you can probably tell. I love project panning. I love everything beauty, so if that sounds like a good time to you, then definitely stick around. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you could make that dream a reality, I would appreciate it. So I'm just going to jump straight into it because I feel like this might be a little bit of a longer video, so sit back, grab a coffee, get comfortable. The first product that I want to talk about now, I have spoken about Make Me Up Missa a hell of a lot on my YouTube channel. She was like the first YouTuber that like I lived and breathed and died for, you know. I absolutely loved watching all of her videos. She had a very similar makeup aesthetic to me, and so whenever she recommended a product, I was on it. I was on it like a car bonnet, baby. I bought so much of my makeup collection on recommendation from Make Me Up Missa. And one of the things that she used to absolutely love and rave about is the NYX Sweet Cheeks powder blush, more specifically in the shade Golden Hour. Now, this was a bright yellow blush. I'm so glad I did not buy it. Oh my god. I have tried like the yellowy orangey blush trend. However, I did not go out and buy a specific yellow blush. I used one of the shades in my Juvia's Place Zulu eyeshadow palette. If you're familiar with that palette, it has massive pans. One of them is a bright yellow and one of them is a bright orange. So I've kind of played around with that. It looks awful on me. It really looks horrific on me. It does not suit my colouring at all. I feel like I have quite warm undertones anyway, so you'd think that yellow blush would kind of suit me. I'm very pale, quite warm, so I feel like those two aspects combine perfectly for the yellow blush trend, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm really sorry. I think it looks so good on Make Me Up Missa, and whenever she did it, she looked gorgeous. And that was a massive pull with this product. Seeing how good it looked on Make Me Up Missa, I was like, it'll look just as good on me. Thank God I did not spend my money to be so disappointed with that, because that would have been horrific. I know Make Me Up Missa, like I think she pretty much panned a whole one of them, and I think she bought a replacement. And as a project panner, I know how hard it is to get through a blush. Like, you've got to use that thing to death. So the fact that she had used one up, I'm pretty sure, and then got another one, I was like, it's got to be so good. All of her recommendations have been so top notch, but it's just a reminder that even if your favorite creator, someone who has recommended amazing things before, recommends something, you still might not like it. You can't just carbon copy your makeup tastes and preferences, because I learned that. And if I'd have bought that product, I would have learned it the very, very hard way, and I'm very glad I didn't. So next thing that I want to talk about is the Jeffree Star lipsticks. Everyone on the internet lost their marbles about the Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks. They were in every single makeup collection. They were in every single background. They were everywhere. They were the absolute pinnacle of 2016 to 2018 makeup. I feel like everyone had them. And maybe I shouldn't include it on this list because a hidden memory just popped into my brain. I did actually buy the like Rainbow Vault because I thought I could use it for eyeliner. I used like one of the shades and then never used it again. So technically I did buy it, but I'm kind of meaning more of like the collection mentality. So I don't know, a little bit of a grey area here. The formula, from what I remember, was quite nice. I've spoken about the liquid lipstick trend before. I really didn't like it. I have very, very sensitive, dry skin. My lips are no different. So the liquid lipstick trend back in the day was not catered to me at all. I really didn't like the drying liquid lipsticks that were coming out at that time. And I feel like the J-Star liquid lipsticks were a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more wearable. And I think that's a massive reason why they were so popular at the time. I'm so glad I didn't buy it for obvious reasons. I do not support J-Star anymore. All of his eyeshadows that I have in my collection are depotted. All of the embossing and the branding is gone. They are just plain single eyeshadows. I don't have any of the liquid lipsticks anymore that I bought in that little vault, but it was very, very easy to just go overboard with them because the colours were really nice. I feel like that was such a selling point for these lipsticks. The colours were very different and there were like hundreds of colours. And I'm so glad I did not go in and buy so many more of them because I would be stuck with liquid lipsticks right now. I don't want to promote him. I don't want to really talk about him in any light, never mind a positive light. So I'm just so glad. And actually, I'm going to add one to the list here. It's just, again, popped up in my brain as I'm speaking about this. The Jeffree Star highlighters. I wanted one of these for the longest time. However, I've said before, I'll probably say it again, I live in a very, very small farming town, so there's not a Morphe in sight, there's not a Sephora, there's not an Ulta or wherever else he was stocked. You'd have to get it online. And at the time these were popular, I was in college, I was earning less than minimum wage, so I don't know, for a big highlight, it was pretty expensive. I don't know, I just didn't have the money. I was earning like £4 an hour. I'm not going to spend that on a highlight. But this was another thing I was so close to buying, specifically that icy white highlighter. I remember watching, is she called like Bridget or something? She's kind of like a goth alternate YouTuber. I used to watch her all the time. She was such a stan of J-Star, and that is why I actually stopped watching her, because she continued to support J-Star and I just didn't have that urge to see that. But she sold these to me and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buy them. But thank God I did not. Anyway, that was just like a spur of the moment impromptu one. But let's get back to the list. This is actually another one that was sparked by Make Me Not Miss Her. This is the Essence Contour Duo. So this is a contour duo with obviously contours. Wow, revolutionary. I don't contour. I have a contour shade in my collection. I have one contour shade. It is in a face palette that I bought literally just because it was the Lion King. You know, sue me. I have weaknesses too. I only use it if I'm like forcing myself to use it. I have quite pronounced cheekbones anyway. You can't really see it in some lights, but like there are pictures of me where I look like I have buccal fat removal. So adding a contour on top of that just isn't part of my makeup aesthetic. I don't want to look gaunt. Like I've had an ED, I've been there. I don't want to go back to that. So I don't know, having what can be filled in is a good thing. Okay, it's a good thing. I don't want to look skeletal. Thank you. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Like there are even some times where I look back at a video or I'm editing a video and a certain light, my jaw will look like a little skinny, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. So to contour is a little bit of a no-no for me. I don't like it. I would rather have a kind of not full but not skinny face, just an average face, just my face. I would like to have my face, please. And even though this Essence contour kit is like £2.50 or £3, I'm still really glad I didn't buy it, because I remember being in Wilko when Wilko was a thing, R.I.P. Wilko, and I was like this close to buying it, and something in my head was saying, you will never use this. Put it back. you will never use this. And that little niggling feeling in my head was so right. I would not have touched this thing. I don't touch my contour that I have. I do not even look at it. I most of the time forget that it exists. So yeah, even though contour for me, I feel like is a fantasy self kind of cool thing, I just don't use them. So I'm so glad I did not buy this Essence Contour Duo. Oh my god, another thing. Make Me I'll Miss Her. Oh my gosh. Yeah. She made me buy a lot of products, and those products were like absolutely banging. But this is another one. The MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. So something that she recommended and I did actually buy was the Revolution dupe to this. It was like a little face powder. It was baked and it was like this opalescent, slight sheeny finishing powder. I used that thing so much, and then I think it expired because it kind of, I don't know, after about a year, it made my skin look like there was like a film on it almost, and it just went weird. I never noticed that before, so I'm really hoping that I wasn't walking around with like this weird filmy look on my skin, but I did notice that eventually with the Revolution one, but that Revolution one was a dupe of the MAC one, and as you can probably imagine, the MAC one was pretty expensive. The Revolution one was probably about £4, so I didn't miss out that much there, and I did use that thing to death. But I'm very glad that I did not buy the high-end version of this, because I've learned after using the Revolution one to death that I like more matte skin with like added highlight. I don't like my whole skin to be highlighty. I am quite dewy today. I know, I'm sweating. I'm absolutely sweating, and this makeup has been on since about 9 o'clock this morning. It's about 6 in the evening now, so yeah, take it with a pinch of salt, okay? But I've learned that I don't really like these finishing powders. It's just not my vibe, and I'm okay with that. Thank God I didn't pay £30 for this powder, because I think I got my fill with that Revolution one. I had my time with it, I had my little phase with it, and I'm kind of glad that I don't have it. And it's an extra step in your makeup routine. Who has time for that? Not me. Not me anymore. I don't know how I had time for it before, but I certainly do not have time for it now. So yes, very glad. And also MAC tests on animals. So another big fat reason why I'm so glad I did not buy that. I do not want to support brands that test on animals or are unethical in any way, shape or form. So another big, massive tick there. Something that was absolutely lived, breathed, died for was the Charlotte Tilbury blush and bronze and highlight, what they call wands, the little cream liquid dabber things. This is kind of an umbrella product for all cream and liquid cheek products and eye products, to be honest. I really don't like them, and I've said this a lot before, so I'll keep this little rant quite short and sweet. I don't like cream products, I don't like liquid products on my cheeks. I would rather just use a powder. I love powder. I know where I stand with powder. I am a powder stan, a powder girl. Cream and liquid products are not the way. They're not the way for me. And I wanted these Charlotte Tilbury little wand things because everyone on the internet was using them and raving about them, and I did not like them. I did not like them. I knew I did not like them, okay? I'm saying that as if I bought them. I didn't buy them, but I just knew in my guts, in my heart and my soul, that I did not like these because I just don't see the point of cream and powder products. They're just so much more hassle to me. I would rather just like whack my brush in and whack a powder on my face. That works for me. Which is kind of weird because I do have dry skin. So you'd think that cream and liquid products would be right up my alley, but no, not really. And I am going to add another little impromptu one here. Oh my god, we've had 2 on the list that were not actually on the list. The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Oh my goodness me. I thank my lucky stars every single day because that thing would have gone neglected. I did buy the collection dupe to this, which was the Gorgeous Glow Filter Finish. I still stumble on that. But this, the Charlotte Tilbury one is like £50. It goes underneath your foundation and it just gives you this glow. However, I like full coverage foundations. So I'd have put that on, and I learnt this with the collection one. I'd have put that on and then I'd have put my foundation on and it would have just been covered. There would have been no product peeking through. Just such a wasted product on me and my makeup style. Thank God I didn't buy that one as well because that was an expensive product, and that would have been an expensive learning lesson. I did end up decluttering the collection one. I tried to get myself to like it, again, because of the FOMO, because everyone else was loving it. I was like, I'm gonna love it. I am gonna love it as well. And I just couldn't. Ugh. So yeah, another little side quest there that we just went on, but let's get back on track. What am I like today? All the ideas are just sparking me right now. Another thing that was viral and so inexpensive, and I could have bought this very, very easily, but I remembered it was another niggling little feeling in my brain. The Essence Pure Nude highlighters. I'm a highlight girl. I love a highlight. I'm still living in 2016. I've said that before. I will say it again. 2016, full glam, beaming highlight, eyeshadow, love it. This was described as a very subtle, everyday, soft glam highlight. Not me, girl. Not me, girl. And I think I knew this subconsciously, but the reason why I wanted to buy this is because, again, everyone was saying how amazing and how good it was, and it was like £3 something. I could have got this so easily, but I just knew in my deepest part of my soul that I would not use it. I would not use it. I love a beaming highlight. I'm the type of person that thinks the Becca highlighters are way too subtle. Like, that's who I am. You know, hello, I love a beaming, god-awful highlight, you know, like, it's too much, and that is just enough. So buying this, like, super subtle, everyday, like, calm, collected highlight is not for me at all, and I knew that subconsciously, and I think that is why I just never made this purchase. Now I don't have to worry about Essence too much, because Wilko, again, RIP Wilko, it has gone. And I mourn it every single day, and that is where I would go to buy Essence. I would go to Wilko just to look at the Essence stands, and now I cannot do that anymore. So I'm pretty safe when it comes to Essence, unless I go on like Wilko online, but who's doing that, you know? So yeah, there were a lot of very like raved about products from Essence, and now I feel safe. I feel safe from the temptation of Essence. So we're gonna go to, I didn't want to put eyeshadows in this video because I've already done an eyeshadow video for this kind of topic. Like I said in the intro, this video is inspired by the eyeshadows I'm so glad I didn't buy. However, I don't know if this counts as eyeshadow. This is the Mitchell color case. Does this count as eyeshadow, or is this just like a cream color face paint thing? I don't know, but I'm gonna put it in this video anyway. I'm so glad I did not buy these. I was more curious about these. I know I'm not a cream person. I've said this before in this video. I'm not a cream girl. I really don't like cream products. Give me a powder any day. I will love you. This was just intriguing to me. This looked like a big case of face paints, basically. And I was very curious about this. It was a very interesting launch because I don't feel like there was a particular color story. It was just kind of all the colors, and a part of me hated it, but a part of me loved it as well. I was in two very separate minds about this, and I'm just so glad I didn't buy it because I would never have used this. Like, being realistic, I would actually never have used this. I probably wouldn't have even tried this once after buying it. Like, once if I'm giving myself, you know, the real benefit of the doubt. But other than that, not at all. I still don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. It's a very strange product. I feel like there's been nothing like this on the market. So when this came out, I was just confused. I think I wanted to buy it just to see what the hell it was, more than I really loved it and I really wanted to buy it and add it to my collection. I was just very confused, I think. And I think that's what a lot of the reviews were that I saw. It was just like, what is this? We don't know. Is it good? Is it not? I don't know. It just kind of looks like a palette of face paints. And that's kind of what it was. You could use it on your cheeks, on your eyes, on your legs, on your arms, anywhere that you wanted. And it was one of them. I'm very glad I did not buy this because that would have been a big fat waste of money. Give me a powder eyeshadow any day. I had all of these cream shades in powder eyeshadows anyway, so any look that I did with this cream case, I could have done with eyeshadows. I have so many eyeshadows in my collection. I do not need this. this was definitely not for me. So I used to live in a big city. I used to live in Liverpool, and in Liverpool was the mecca of my life, the Morphe store. And in the Morphe store, they sold Jacqueline cosmetics, and I saw the little blush duos that Jacqueline came out with. I specifically remember Angelica Nyqvist talking about these and saying that they were really, really good and the quality was amazing. These were bulky as hell, though. These were about this thick. Like, they were thick boys. And I'm so glad I did not buy this. A, because of the packaging, and B, because of just Jacqueline in general. I get a bad vibe from Jacqueline. I don't know, she just... something doesn't sit right with me. I've heard way too much about her to want to support her. I'm definitely one of those people that I feel like it's important to buy things ethically, because by giving someone money, you are supporting them, whether you want to or not. It's the same with TV shows, you know, when I'm going into politics now, but when Matt Hancock was on I'm a Celeb, I boycotted the hell out of that one because we are not seeing his face in my living room. For all you Americans who have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm gonna move on swiftly. But all the UK lot who know, I'm very sorry. You've just been enraged again. I can feel it through the screen, your anger, but let's all calm down. But I just think it's so important to vote how you can. The general public don't have very many ways of voting, but voting with your wallet and voting with your time is such an important thing to me. I went very deep there just to say that I don't really like Jaclyn Hill. That's the basic end of it. Jaclyn Hill is a character that, to me, appears quite money hungry, appears to not really be enjoying this life that she's made anymore. Maybe it's just me seeing that, but to me, she's taken a step back and she's just kind of riding the wave, I guess. If I had a makeup company, that would be my life. I would live, breathe, and die that company. But Jaclyn just seems to have kind of chilled out a bit, which, I mean, if that's what she wants to do, that's great. I just don't like the character. I just don't like it. That is such a long, rambly, oh my god, shut up way of saying that. I don't want to support her. She doesn't sit right with me, so I'm not going to buy from her. End of story. And I mean, that bulky packaging, where am I going to store that? Where? Alrighty, I have 2 more products left to talk about. So the first one is the Glisten Cosmetics Massive Cream Cake Liner Palettes. This... I was close. The thought of cream liners and like cake liners, I love the thought, but I went out and purchased one item that has got me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shades of liquid liner, and that is Inglot Duraline. I can spend £10 and have any colour of eyeliner that I could possibly want. I don't need to go out and spend £50 on a huge palette of them. Saving money saving tips with Caitlin Costello. You're welcome. I love this idea. Like, in theory, this idea is so fun. And yes, it takes some hassle away from having to mix the colour in with Inglot Duraline, but I mean, it takes 10 seconds, you know? When I'm feeling really lazy, do I sit here and think, man, I wish I had a palette full of cake liners that I can just spray some water in? Yeah, of course. But that's me being very lazy, and that's me telling myself that I, spend the extra 5 seconds to get any liner that you possibly want. I do want to experiment more with different kind of liners. I do have Realgar as a liner for my wing today. I don't know if you can see it, but that was Inglot Duraline. And I'm just so grateful to know this hack about Inglot Duraline, because now I think I have about 500 eyeshadows in my makeup collection. I now have 500 different eyeliner colours, which is incredible, which is amazing. I've saved so much money there, let me tell you that for free. I do have 2 cake liner pots. I do have a white one and I do have a yellow one, because they are the 2 colours that if I'm gonna do a cream cake liner, they're the 2 colours that I'm probably going to do most days. So for me, that kind of makes sense. But having a big old palette full of the rainbow, it just doesn't make sense to me. Because A, how often am I realistically going to use them? Never. And B, even if I am going to use them, I can just make any colour ever with my Inglot Duraline. So it's a no-brainer. I'm very glad I did not buy this. And finally, next on the list, the final product, is another Charlotte Tilbury product. And this was the Bronze and Glow palette, the Hollywood Bronze and Glow or something like that. We all remember this. We all remember signing onto YouTube and this being crammed down our throats. This was everywhere. And again, it goes back to what I said about the Essence Contour palette. I don't contour. I know I don't contour. Why do I need this? I do not want to contour. My cheekbones are like loud and proud anyway. Like I am Maleficent anyway. I don't need the additional contour. I just think that this, like, contouring is too much on me. I don't know, if I'm going for like a Halloween vibe, maybe. If I'm like doing a villainous kind of look, maybe a smoky eye, maybe. But every day I do not need a contour. I really do not. And then the highlight in this, it's kind of reminiscent to the Essence Pure Nude highlight. I've heard very mixed opinions on this, mainly because I've heard that it is quite a subtle highlight. It's an everyday chill out, just like, you know, nothing too crazy highlight. I want craziness. I want insanity. I want the carnival on my cheeks every single day when it comes to my highlight. So that would never have been used either. And this was not cheap. This was expensive. But why did I want this? It was because everyone else wanted it. And I'm really learning to stop that. I'm really learning to just think for myself when it comes to makeup products. Sometimes people recommend things and live, breathe, die by them, and I don't have to buy them. I don't have to. No one's forcing me to do that. But I'm just so glad that I've learned that lesson. I'm so glad that I'm not jumping on every trend, and I'm really sitting back and thinking, would this benefit my life? Would this benefit my makeup aesthetic and my makeup tastes? And honestly, like most of the time nowadays, it's a big fat no. Are there still things that people recommend that I'm like drooling over? Yeah, of course. I did a whole wish list video. I will link it up in the cards for you guys. Those are the products that, I don't know, maybe in a year I will make this video again and those products will be in this video. But for right now, there are some things that I'm proper drooling over. But I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna let myself stew a little bit, I'm gonna let myself think things through before I make any rash decisions. Without doing that, all of these things would be in my makeup collection and they would be gathering dust and they would just not be used. So this is it. This is my little video. Products I'm so glad I did not buy. A kind of part 2 of the eyeshadow palettes I didn't buy. Have you tried any of these products? If you have, let me know down below. Are you also like tempted by some of these products and just have not bought them for any reason? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. That 5K goal is creeping closer and closer, and I'm just so overwhelmed and so unbelievably grateful for all of the support that I get on my channel. It honestly does mean the world to me, and I wake up smiling every single day. But this is it. This is where I'm gonna love you and leave you today, guys. Have an absolutely incredible day, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye!